A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to the guest speaker of the day, Dr. Sowmya, Assistant Professor and Innovation Ambassador of Cauvery College for Women. And I welcome all the participants of the Day 5 of International Faculty Development Program in collaboration with MIT Square, London, and Shri Krishnaswamy College for Women. Now we have Dr. Anandi Ma'am, Dean of Research from Shri Krishnaswamy College for Women, to present the welcome address to the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to all. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 6 days online faculty development program on research methodologies and teaching, organized by Sri Krishnaswamy College for Women under the RISE Center of Excellence covered by MIT Square, London. I extend a cordial welcome to the resource person of the day, Dr. S. Sowmya, Assistant Professor, Innovation Ambassador, Cauvery College for Women, Trichy. I also extend my hearty welcome to the Managing Trustees and Directors of SKC. Dean Dr. Revati Ma'am, Principal Dr. Anita Rajendran Ma'am, and IQAC Coordinator and heads of various departments. I am also glad to welcome all the faculties of the various colleges who have joined for this FD. Once again, I welcome you. Thank you.
Now I call upon Dr. Nafisa Ma'am, Department of BBA, Shift 2, to introduce the guest speaker. Over to you.
Good day to all. It's my honor and privilege to be introducing Dr. S. Sowmya Ma'am, who is the speaker for this Day 5 session. Dr. S. Sowmya Ma'am is an Innovation Ambassador of Institution Innovation Council, a coordinator of Kapila, and she is currently working as an Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce, Cauvery College for Women, Trichy. She is an ultimate motivator and mentor for students in their career prospects and entrepreneurial competencies who are the budding entrepreneurs. She has more than 10 plus years of teaching experience, and she is a course designer for 32 value-added courses offered by EDCET and Institute Innovation Entrepreneurship credit courses offered by the Institute. To highlight some of her recognitions, she has acted as a jury member for 32 milestone presentations of project ventures invited at Bhartwani Foundation. She has received Best Faculty Award in the Entrepreneurship. She has organized Kids Entrepreneurship Awareness Program at Pothys Textile Showroom on 2019. As far as her research experience is concerned, she has published many papers in various journals and articles, and she has acted as a guide supervisor for PG and MPhil graduates. We are really delighted to have you here, ma'am. We welcome her to take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Yes. So I really thank the management, principal ma'am, dean, and the professors, and all those who are behind organizing this session. It's a wonderful initiative taken by Mithilesh sir and Bhuneshwari ma'am, MIT Square CEOs. And I'm really thankful to sir also, because he's also doing wonderful, things for both society and the graduates here. So thanks a lot for giving me such a platform. Thank you, ma'am. So now, just moving to the session, I'll just present my screen. 1 minute. Yes. So my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am.
So first so first, this topic is really, I'm very passionate in entrepreneurship, actually. But research-wise, I am into entrepreneurial research. Indeed, there will be professors who are really, publishing in high-index journals with high impact factors. So there may be professors in this meet. Though I have a major experience in entrepreneurship, I feel that research starts from there. So both are interlinked. So it's a wonderful topic given to me. So we'll just move on. Okay, now you can just have these, the answers to these questions. Ma'am, is there any interaction can I have with uh, I mean,
No, ma'am.
ma'am?
Actually, we are using the YouTube
Ro-
platform through
Okay,
StreamYard.
right,
So they
right.
can comment in the comment box. We can
Comment
see
box.
the
Okay.
comments and we can answer.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Right. So these are the questions normally that we should have in our mind, like why I'm involved in the research activities and why am I here in the meet? What is my social relevance? Because these are the main, the quests that we have in our mind. If you don't have any such quests in your mind, just sitting just for the sake of getting your certificates or just getting involved in any of these meets, then it is utter. You're just wasting your time where you're not interested also. So these are the main things. So just imagine, like, research activities is not just what we have to submit in our academic reach. Like, we have a lot of commitments, we have targets that we have to finish one research article. It's not that. So apart from that, what is your level of involvement in research activities, and what is the social relevance that you give through your research paper? It's not just you're giving your research work just for increasing the number of research in the high index journals. Not that. It should be beyond that. You should have some social relevance in whatever research, whatever small impact that we give for what for all that is happening around the market. It can be you're studying the consumer behavior, or you're studying about finance, or any clinical research that you're making. It can be in any domain. Okay. Now, this is the regular research practice exercise. I think this story is a well-known story to everyone, maybe. So I just want to remind you that we have a lot of takeaways from this particular story. So there was a woodcutter who was taken up by timber boss, and the woodcutter first he cut 18 trees, and the boss was very much impressed, and he said, wow, you've cut 18 trees on the date of joining the duty. So the woodcutter was very much, he was very much involved, and he thought, okay, let me cut about 20 to 25 trees the next day. But then he could cut only 15 trees. So the number of trees were reducing, and the third day he could cut only 10 trees, and then it kept on reducing. So he was very disappointed, and he thought, okay, why is it happening? So he went to his boss, and he said,
Soumya, ma'am. Ma'am, are you there? Audience, please stay in the link. There is a technical problem from the resource person side. Participants, the resource person has joined. Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes, Soumya. Sorry, I
Ma'am,
think there's some network issues on my side, maybe.
okay, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, you can take over the session, ma'am.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Yes. Thank you. So sorry for the interruption here. Yes. So we were talking about the academic research importance. So it helps the business. It helps the business to grow. It also leads to the personal growth of students, and it facilitates learning. So all these are the benefits, and why we are engaged into academic research. And next is normally how you can relate your research with the environment of industry or a company. Now, mostly the whole economic development, it depends upon entrepreneurship. So we have to accept the fact, because there are industries, there are companies which are producing n number of products with innovative ideas, and this can happen only through research. So why I'm saying that, now for example, any company wants to release any particular product. Of course they will be doing a small pilot study of that particular product. So if you don't have any such research about what product you're going to give to the customers, then it won't be a successful market reach. So research starts from there. So every industry, every company will rely on the market research that they do on the products that they want to release in the market. And whether you run a small business or it may be a big business, it doesn't matter. So being small or big, that doesn't matter, but what you're giving to the customers, that really matters, and how the customers feel for it, and what is the impact of that you're doing in the that relates to the economic development. So all these are interlinked with each other. Now, normally, what do we do is, as students or as employees, we always think, okay, we should get a better job, we should do our job properly, and we only try to be effective. We are not efficient. So, effective, there is a difference between effectiveness and efficiency. So, when we do the job that our boss gives us, so every day I'm supposed to take care of the files, or every day I am being given some sort of work. So, I will be always in the mindset to finish that work that is given to me daily. That is working effectively. But when I go beyond that, and when I do something that is passionate to me, and I want to give something to the society, then you work efficiently. So that there also research plays an integral part there. So when you come in that case, you try to do n number of research about even the students who are studying. Sometimes we do a small research why the students are failing, and we try to find out the reason. So that is also a research. So research is there in each and everything that we do, each and every activity that we are involved in. So it's very essential to have a timeline for the research that we do, and that helps us to plan whatever we are supposed to do. Now there is n number of numerous knowledge sharing books. There is ebooks. We have a lot of textbooks that are being given by various authors, and there is no deficiency in craving for knowledge. Knowledge is there now. It's quite broadened after COVID. Everything has been in online, so you can get n number of knowledge sharing in our e-sources itself. So there is no problem in that. But even the small knowledge that we get in from any source, that is where research starts. So when you search for any particular definition or any particular theory, or when you search for any particular that is related to increasing your level of knowledge, there itself research starts. So research is nothing that it's something very different. When you get into research, you have to forget all the other work. No. So whatever we do, when you try to involve yourself, getting to know about various things, from there itself research starts on. Okay, now this I want the participants just to think what are the barriers for you all to do an effective research. Normally, when we have to release a research paper, we always think, oh, what is my domain going to be, or whom I'm going to collaborate with, what problem I'm going to study. So normally, the main barrier here is not our self barrier, the way we think. Sometimes what do we do is we have our own perspective. We don't think in the no, we should be in the shoes of the customer. So we forget that part. So normally what do we do is, we normally think, okay, what is a problem to me in society, and now when I what is the market problems that has been, around me. So you don't think in a broad perspective, you only think in a narrow perspective, and you sometimes you narrow down the problem, you don't fix the right problem for the study. That's where many researchers also fail, to come into a good, by the time they finish the research, they give a proper finding that will be outdated. So always we should be updated with the current technologies that have been introduced, and whatever problem we select, whatever literatures that we search, it should be relevant. It should be related to the current, the environmental issues that have been going on. So that only will help you to convert into a monetary base also, because there are lots and lots of companies who crave for research findings, because that is very essential for them. And we researchers, we analyze the perceptions of the customers, and we give our own perceptions, like what can be done to make the customers happy or delighted, what can be the win-win strategy of a company or an industry, what kind of theories or what kind of models that we can give. Now there are a lot of quality models, right, like TQM, like lean approach model for service industries. Like any hospital who has a lean approach model will have a good management system. So these are the small concepts that we should come up with. So we shouldn't always stick on to the models that has already been given by authors. We should take those models and we should try to implement our own perception, and you should try to broaden that concept. So that is where research is. But we forget all that. We forget all the practical implications, and we only try to finish our research paper somehow within the particular duration, because we are actually forced. Now if you want to upgrade yourself, you have to put 2 papers, 3 papers. So we forget about the practical implications of a proper research that we are supposed to do. So the barriers is not, I don't have time, I don't have knowledge. No, we have knowledge, we have n number of books, we have a lot of sources, but we are not choosing the problem right. So you should know which problem I'm supposed to study, I'm supposed to take, and whom will that the findings will benefit. All that has to be analyzed before you get into a research problem. Now coming into entrepreneurship. So I hope in these last 4 days, the participants would have had a very good knowledge sharing from a resource
Soumya
person.
ma'am,
Am I?
Soumya,
Yes. Yes.
sorry for the interruption. Can you go with the full screen mode, ma'am? Participants are asking
Full
because the
screen.
words are very
Okay.
minimal.
Yes, 1 minute. Okay, now.
Yes, ma'am, that's good.
Yes. Okay, sorry for that. So far, like I was just giving you the glimpse of what is research, because I don't want to again take the same concepts that has been given by a lot of resource persons for the past 4 days. You all would have been brushed up with a lot of research techniques. So now I'm coming to the entrepreneurship part. Like, how is entrepreneurship connected with research? And each one of us have our own definition of entrepreneurship. You can even put in the chat box your own opinion about what is entrepreneurship. Like some may be giving like the risk taking, it's an objective where you take a number of risks there. And there are a lot of and we always say entrepreneurship is something that we are self-employed, and we give in a lot of products to the market. So the whole burden is on the, so we are the owners to it. So there are a lot of definitions that we give. So normally entrepreneurship, we keep in our mind the risk that is there. Okay. And many of us are really scared to get into entrepreneur line, because why should we get into such a line where we have to take up a lot of risk? So always we tend to divert ourselves and not to go into the entrepreneurship path. But entrepreneurship actually makes us monetary wise, as well as popularize, as well as you have lots of benefits in entrepreneurship, especially when you get into entrepreneurship and innovation. That really that is the trend of now, because coming to our national economy and all, comparing to other countries, what they do is they identify and they create, they design their own products. But what we do is they design the products and we buy the products. We are very poor in designing. So now in the recent trends, designing of a product design, then the terms of startup, the terms innovative, they're all the buzzwords today. Like every day we hear these words, because now the education is turned up, like everyone are getting to the practical insights of educating themselves. So these are the key metrics in entrepreneurship. Main thing is entrepreneurship only accelerates the economic growth, because as the number of entrepreneurs grow in a country, they give a lot of inputs to the economic development of a nation also. So they have their own part for the development of their own country. So that is a very important, for every citizen. Like you should have at least point percentage towards the economic growth of our national, towards the economic growth of our own country. So by creating these new products, you try to give more employment opportunities, you try to involve a lot of students in innovation and creativity, so you try to benefit the society as well as the other competitors, and you also benefit to the economic development. So that's why we say like entrepreneurship is very, very important, because it has a social impact and it also develops the economic growth. So normally, now when you link entrepreneurship to research, research is also doing an experiment. So it depends. When it is in consumer behavior, we experiment the marketing ethics or the marketing behavior of a consumer. You try to select certain consumers and you try to collect data from them, and we analyze the data. We just put in a data package like SPSS, and we analyze it. We frame a hypothesis, and you come into a conclusion. So, and science domain, like how do we do experimentation? They do clinical trials, and whichever is successful, they try to try to bring it out. So it differs actually. Whatever we study, whatever research we are doing, the experimentation differs. So normally it also starts with a hypothesis, which is very important in a research, because whatever hypothesis is just an assumption, it may or may not be. So whatever we coin, that should be related to the objective of the research. So that's why we should be very careful in choosing the problem. So identification of the problem is very important, and that only helps us to formulate a proper objective and also coin a hypothesis related to it, and then the research will go in a very smooth way. So normally the success of a research and entrepreneurship, it is mainly the success of an entrepreneurship is not predictable. You cannot say like, now if I become an entrepreneur, I will always be successful. You cannot say that. The sustainability will keep on changing. You might come into loss for certain years, then you might pitch up, then it the scaling will keep on moving. So according to an author, Hayek, in 1948, like he said, like entrepreneurship is the solution of the economic problem of society, and is always a voyage of exploration into the unknown. So you don't know where you're going. So you keep on doing small research, and you find out in which stage are you. And normally, now for example, in our college, like there was a student who. Who coined a new concept in waste management by converting the tailoring waste into products. Okay, now she connected with the exporters and all that. So she just coined the problem. So the problem was waste management. So there are n number of tailoring waste in her locality, and all those wastes are just dumped. They are not being reused. So that was the problem identification. So that is where it's very important. So that is a problem of society. So what she has done is she's collecting all those waste, and she's converting into a interior designing fabric. Like she's making cushion covers, she's making curtains, and now she's earning about 1 lakh per month for the orders that she's getting. And she's now connected state wise. Like she's connected with Jaipur industries, she's connected with the industries in Delhi. So all those who throw away the branded stuffs, like she collected from them, and she reuses, and now she's making it into a different value added products. So these are all. Now here you have research on one part, and you have entrepreneurship also. Now she is a successful entrepreneur as of now, and she has done a lot of research in choosing that problem. Now how did she choose waste management? She met so many, wherever, in whichever shop she went, she just witnessed there are so many waste there. So then she made a research. Then she also got certain data from the customers, like who will need such kind of value added products. And after making a thorough market research, then she took a step ahead to start her own startup firm, retailers. So this is how an entrepreneur comes. So these are all the practical research implications. Now, how do we contribute? Now, I'm not an entrepreneur. So you can say like, okay, I'm not an entrepreneur, why should I do market research? You can study the consumer's behavior, and when you release that in any of the high index journals, there will be n number of entrepreneurs who are really reading all these articles, because all the entrepreneurs get their data from the articles, from the H index articles, from the high impact journals. All the entrepreneurs get the data from that. So the entrepreneurs will know in which domain they are. So they search for articles in that domain, and there will be many researchers who would have given their own perceptional findings, related to that particular topic, which will be useful for that particular industry. So there are so many industrialists, so many entrepreneurs who all depend upon such kind of articles. That's why everyone are suggesting all the academicians to do their research papers, because all their findings are really valuable. That's why we shouldn't fake up the data. Whatever we do, it should be real. Then only your impact will be high. Now, if you're going to modify your data, if you're just going to bring the data which will be accepted by the person who's going to evaluate your project, no, that should be avoided. So that is a passion, a real researcher and a fake researcher. So if you really give the inputs, real inputs in your research work, your research will be taken up by so many people, and that's how you will go a step ahead in the research field. So it's very essential to establish theories. Now we have a lot of theories. We have motivational theories. We have entrepreneurship theories. So we have theories in many ways. So it's not Ma'am, can you hear me? Am I audible?
Now only, ma'am. You were not audible for a couple of seconds. Now you are
Okay,
audible,
now
but your
okay.
screen is not visible. Can you
Yes,
just
yes, yes. I just,
check on
yes.
your screen?
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
And now the screen is visible, right?
Now the screen is visible. The audio is also there. Can you go to the full screen mode? Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. So now coming to design thinking. So how design thinking is a buzzword, as I said. So now there are so many students, so many faculties who are getting involved in practical research, where they do their own prototypes. They get involved in innovations. So these are all, the creating innovative solutions to the problems that has been identified. So whatever we want to study, whatever we want to research, now we can convert that with our design thinking skills. You can convert that into a prototype. So that's how slowly you can convert yourself into an entrepreneur. There are a lot of chances for the academicians to become entrepreneurs also. you know so that's why we should encourage innovation in the sense you should encourage creativity in the work that you do. And it's very important to collect the feedback, and then only it helps you to make the proper prototype, and redesign the prototype. So this normally, how do you redesign is, now if I have a prototype of a machine, okay, now I just collect the data of the users of that particular machine, just give them just do a pilot study, and then I will know whether the machine is 80% needed in the market or not. After that, in case if there are certain suggestions from any respondent, you have to consider the suggestion, and that helps you to redesign your product. So all this is part of your research. Building a prototype, testing the design, getting the feedback, and implementing the innovation. So your whole research work is in that. This research work helps to become an entrepreneur. So anyone who wants to bring in their own product to the market, they can get involved in implementing their own innovation and creativity. So this is the design thinking steps. So first you should like what your product is going to be and who are the customers who are in need of that product. You should have that in your mind. And the third step is ideation. Ideation is nothing but you have a process of creating solution to the ideas. You will have a lot of solution. You will have normally when you try to give a solution for a problem, you should put in a list a lot of alternatives. Like you cannot say that all the alternatives will help in solving the problem. Among 10 alternatives you would have put in your list, in that one or two alternatives will adhere to the providing solution to your problem. So that is very essential to list out the alternatives. For that, brainstorming is very, very important. You should collect as many ideas even from your colleagues. Now if you're having a research, if you're going to design a product, you should have a lot of brainstorming with your colleagues, with your mentors, with even the students, or with anyone. You can collect, that is data collection. Like you can collect the perception of what you do from all those who are around you. That is the first step that we take ahead. Then comes to the prototype. So after you know, okay, what is the need of the customer, then you build your product. Okay, so now this is what an entrepreneur does. Yes, how you can bring this in research. In research, what they do is you show the design of that particular product in your article, and you will also coin a theory behind that, and you will also show the impact of using this particular design, right? So that is also needed. So one, it can be building a prototype, the building the machine itself, or you can just put the design in your paper. Any industry, any company can grab your design. Okay, this is what you should do. And next is testing. So testing your prototype is nothing but, now for example, I'm making soap. So if I'm making soap, after making the soap, I should give it to the customers as sample. At least to 10 to 15 customers I can give it as a sample. I should collect the data from them, and after using it, they will give me their perception regarding that. So in that, I will know whether my product will be success in the market or not. If not, I should do the necessary alterations in that product, and again I should redesign my product, and again I should give it the sample, and I should get the data. So this is what testing happens. So testing is very important. In research, what we do is we coin an objective. To test that objective, we frame a hypothesis, and to test the hypothesis, we grab the responses that we have collected already, and what we do is we analyze it in all this software packages that are available, and we give our own opinion. If that opinion will surely 80% contribute towards the beneficiaries who are in need of that kind of data. So this is the design thinking skill that each and every researcher should have. Though you're not an entrepreneur, you may not be an entrepreneur to have all this. Every researcher should have a design thinking skill. You should know to whom you're going to present the paper, who are going to use your paper. All this you should have in your mind before you get into your research work. Now, what are the prerequisites? If you want to do an entrepreneurial research, you should have an entrepreneurial mindset. Otherwise, you cannot get into entrepreneurial research. If you want to give a market research, of a particular product, and exactly that company will require your insights. So you should have that entrepreneurial mindset. You should be in the shoes of an entrepreneur. You should think like an entrepreneur. Then only you will come up with a lot of innovative ideas. You will come up with a lot of alternatives, and then your research also will keep moving on, in a successful way. So normally the characters of an entrepreneur will keep, it won't be, the same. It will always keep changing. So we will tend to make, strategic decisions in between. So normally there are a lot of environmental changes also when you do an entrepreneurial research. Now, for example, you take a market survey of last year. Okay, now that won't be correct if you're going to take at least 1 year to finish your research work. In the second year, you're going to give the study, give the whatever you found in the study. That won't be useful actually. So timeline is very, very important. Sometimes a 1 year data will be of no use. So you should be updated with the current, though you collect the data in a year before, you should be updated with the current informations also related to that particular problem or whatever study you do. You should keep on updating yourself, and you can connect the updated information along with the data that has been collected a year before. So like that, you should interlink your your responses. So this is one. And entrepreneurs always, they will have the curiosity mind, like what we can do next. They will not, they sometimes what we do is when we get into our work, we'll wait for the time to be over, we'll get back home and we'll relax. So then we watch TV, you do whatever you like, you get aligned with your hobbies and all that. But an entrepreneur will keep thinking what can be done next, how the market is going to change. They will always stick on to the stock markets. They will always stick on to the news. They will always see about their, I mean, they will always learn from their competitors. So they won't sleep. They won't have any such, free. They won't like to be kept idle also. So that is one curiosity mindset that an entrepreneur has. And having these qualities in mind will help to improve their entrepreneurship skills. So as a researcher, now when you are taking any entrepreneurial research, you should have these mindset qualities with you. So at least if you build up 50% of these skills in you, then only you can give a proper outcome based research which will impact the society and the industry and the companies. Now, coming to the topic, which is entrepreneurial research. So, here, normally we find a lot of companies, as I said earlier, there are a lot of hospitals, who really search from the lean approach analysis, and they try to get some insights from that. And then only they will decide what can be done to their, their service providers, how they can train their service providers, what kind of trainings they should give them, should they update their training techniques. So all that they will collect from the research articles. So any industry you take, that's why they say give original data valued research, because all the industries, all the companies, they read all these research articles and they get all that has to be done next from the findings that are being given by the researchers. And this helps in creating the development of the economic. Okay. So entrepreneurial research is very helpful for the founders, for the startup, founders, and it can be applied to provide support also. And evaluating the idea is very flexible, and it's very easy to achieve success also. Not very easy in the sense, like you will, your difficulties will be cut down when you follow the research steps, to sustain your entrepreneurship process. Okay. Now, if you want to pitch your idea, now if you have any business idea, okay, and or if you have any particular problem that you have identified and you want to put in your research work, you should pitch that properly. You should bring out your research questions properly, which should be interlinked with your objectives, that should be interlinked with your hypothesis. So this will help the investors or whoever's going to read, they should know what is the demand for that particular product or for that particular research outcomes that you're giving. And pitches are always, normally pitch deck is nothing but, if any entrepreneur wants to introduce a new machine or introduce a new product or a service, they should explain about their ideas to a investor who's ready to invest in their product. So in that case, pitching is very, very important, where you give them the right statistical data. Like you tell them, like, how much has to be invested, and what is the break even point, and when will you get the returns, and in how many months you'll get back the money that has been invested, and what is the profit growth, mainly the budget allocations is very, very essential. That is when you think in an entrepreneurial mindset. When you are a researcher, you can analyze the financial aspect. Now you can say, like, if a person wants to become an entrepreneur, so what are the financial implications he has to get along with, how he can work out his financial budget, so what are the factors that has to be taken into account. So we can give our own perception that will help an entrepreneur to pitch his product in front of the investors. This is how your articles will help the founders or the startup founders or the entrepreneurs to frame their business model and help them to pitch. So it's like, you're helping somebody to become an entrepreneur. So your contribution is there in every entrepreneurs who grow up in our economy. This is how research is contributing towards the entrepreneurial success. So here, the credibility and is very important to plan the market innovations. So pitching is very important if an entrepreneur wants to bring out his business plan in front of the investor. Now, what is the entrepreneurship status? Now, every time we hear this word entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship education, innovation, and all that. So, entrepreneurship status in India is, in 2016, there were about 471 startups alone. In 2022, that is in 6 years, it's become 72,993 startups have grown up. So now we know, like, our country is full of knowledgeable resources, but now only we're making use of it, and now everyone have reaped the gain or the profit behind becoming an entrepreneur. Now only everyone are coming out of that, that myth that entrepreneur is something very bad. It spoils your career. So every family, they feel that if their children get into entrepreneurship, they'll spoil their career. It's not that. When a student is in the first year itself, they become a founder. Okay, by the time she finishes her degree, she'll be earning $1 million. So we should give chances. So we shouldn't give a stop, like, you cannot do all this, you can only do this. We shouldn't stop the young research, the budding entrepreneurs. So we should, as an academician, like, we should be responsible in building up the interest among the students also to get into research and to define their career. They can even become entrepreneurs on one day, and our contribution may be there. So this is what the state is. And more than 4,500 startups are technology based. Like, they're all implementing AI, artificial intelligence, then IoT, then all the Python codings. All this is being applied to bring about a lot of sensor based projects, robotic projects. So all this is happening in our country now, recently. So this is the status of entrepreneurship. Now, what are the research opportunities in entrepreneurship? If you really want to, be close with entrepreneurship career, then you should be aware of all these institutions that are providing fund to carry over the entrepreneurship research. So there is this Nidhi, then DST is there, BioNest, EIR, which is Entrepreneurs in Residence, then Prayas for promoting young innovators and startup, then DPIIT, which is promotion of industry and internal trade. Then you have BIRAC, which focuses on the biotechnology industry research. Apart from this, there are a lot of incubation centers which are put up in each and every institute. So now every institute is interlinked. Okay, so if one institute doesn't have their mission, they can collaborate with another institute which has that particular mission to undertake the research. So there are many institutions that are being interlinked, and this helps to strengthen the research of the academicians of in becoming entrepreneurs also, or helping the student entrepreneurs to define their career before they leave their graduation. So these are all the research opportunities that are available, and we should be updated with all the opportunities that are given by these institutes. Now, the objectives of market research, all this I have been explaining it before itself. So normally a market research, you have normally any research, you have a primary research and secondary research. So primary research is all that you have fresh information. So it can be getting the information from the competitors, from your customers, from the channel of distributors. Then all these are the primary research, that you get the data directly from the respondents. And secondary research is the data that have been published by the companies. Then because normally what they do is, if any company has given their balance sheet, you can compare the balance sheet and you can find out why the company has undergone a loss, and you can give your own implications that will be useful for that particular company to revamp their flaws that has been happening, and that will help them to achieve success further. So this is how a researcher will help an industrialists to sustain their success in the business. And the key steps, this is also like you have to do a proper all this has been discussed in day 1, 2 and 3 and 4 by well renowned researchers who would have given you a lot of information on how to start a research work. And you should always be careful in understanding the types of customers that you have, because that is very important. You should have the right set of customers to whom you're giving your research work. And here there is a term called the savvy purchaser. Savvy is the one who has a lot of knowledge about the market. Like, they won't be concerned about the quality or effectiveness, but they will want to know the value of the product. Okay. So here always they will be aware of the prices. They will always learn about the competitors. They will learn about each and every market environmental changes that has been going on. And then they will also have in their mind where to purchase which product, and which company is the best. So mostly those who invest in stock also, they will be the savvy purchaser. So here the word savvy, so we should also be a savvy researcher. Like, we should know what is the value of the research that we give to the society. Okay, this we have discussed earlier, like how an industry will get benefited. So I'm just um going through it. Okay, here the value of market research report. Now, normally what do we do is, we take a particular journal, and you do your research, you publish in that. There are a lot of reports, there is Mintel, Frost, and what they do is they collect data from you, they collect reports from you, and they just put in their website. And any researcher, any person who wants to know about any particular company reports, they can go in there. So there are a lot of such sources where you can update your reports, your research reports, and that will be in the particular libraries, which will be useful for a lot of people who want to become entrepreneurs. So this is one of the opportunities that sometimes we may not be aware. And here again, we should be careful with the date of publication, because you should see that all the data that you give, all the perception that you give, it should be connected with the current environmental issues that are going around. It should not be outdated. So you should always update yourself when you're submitting your research paper. Now, what are the research categories? Like, what kind of research you can do which is connected with entrepreneurship? So you can do a company research where you study about the company. As I said, you can get the financial statements of the company, study and compare, and tell them or suggest them what are the ways they can adopt, to again sustain the successful of their company. You can also conduct an industry research where you can study the competitors' perception, and you can give your own ideas to the industry. That will also help the industry to sustain their work. You can also do a market research. As I said, I gave a lot of examples how you study the consumer's perception. So you can do a market research, you can do consumer buying behavior research, customer personality. There are a lot of buying motives, buying theories, where you can connect the theories into your research work, and you can give your own perception, which will be helpful for the entrepreneurs who want to start their business in a small market or a big market. Then you can even do research related to finance. Like, as I said, when any entrepreneur wants to pitch their product in front of an investor, how you should pitch it. Okay, what are the factors you should connect with the finance related information? So how you can pitch to an investor. So all that, if you give your own opinion, that will be useful for that particular entrepreneur to pitch his idea front of the investor. So investors, you have venture capitalists, you have the angel investors who really support the small startups. They are ready to invest in a large amount. The angel investors are ready to invest more than $1 billion for the good startup ideas. So all that depends upon how you're pitching your business model. There are so many researchers who are giving their own models to pitch their business plan. And next one is the patent, like how you can protect your ideas, how you can how you can patent your work, your research work. Even research can be done on this also. Because there are sometimes when we think in Tamil Nadu, there are a lot of products that has been coming out, but the number of patents given is very, very less compared to other state. So why is that? So anyone can do a research on that. So why people are producing more products but they are not getting it licensed? So what is a problem for them? That can be a current issue that any researcher can take up. This is how you can connect with a entrepreneur. Okay, you're just giving an idea to a normal entrepreneur, like what are the barriers for many entrepreneurs for not patenting their ideas. Okay, it may be financial wise, or maybe they are not aware of it, or maybe they may be not worried if anyone can copy that. So there may be any reason. So anyone can take that also as a research work. So these are all the kinds of research work that you can connect with entrepreneurship. So this is the overall the mapping that I have given you. So this is the alignment between the research and entrepreneurship. Research is you're sharing the knowledge, you're validating your work, you're finding the financial accessibility, and the risk is very low because you're just collecting the data, you're analyzing, you're giving your perception. So your risk is low, you're just presenting a paper. But for an entrepreneurship, the risk is high, but the sustainable impact is there, and funding is there, and the research will provide a direction for the entrepreneur to carry their work ahead. So this is how research is interlinked with entrepreneurship. Now, this is the overall summary of what I have presented to you today. So, as I said, you can do a lot of there are a lot of types of research connected with the entrepreneurship that is given in the left side, which is company, industry, market, finance, IPR, technical research. So, whom it is benefited to? It is benefited to an industrialist, to a company, to a society. It develops the economic of a nation. It helps in business ideation. It helps in consumer behavior upgradation. It helps in technical advancement. It helps to increase our standard of living. And it also helps in implementing and building up a lot of innovative practices. And these are the benefits in common. Okay, now what are the self benefits as a researcher? How I am benefited by doing the research connected to entrepreneurship? By doing a real research connected to entrepreneurship, you can improve your analytical skill, your critical thinking skill. You can develop your personal interest. You will have some a meaningful life you can live actually. Then you can also increase your academic career. You will get a lot of monetary benefits when you do a real research, when you give a real finding based on the data that you have collected. You will get a lot of monetary benefits also from industries. Now in case if you have designed a machine which is really useful for a lot of customers, the industry will buy your idea, so they will have to pay for your idea. So all this will take place, so you will have a self monetary reward also by doing such kind of entrepreneurial research. And this will also increase one to one connection with other faculties in different field, and it will also help in building a community with your friends, faculties, and other organizations. And one fine day, who knows, like researchers can become entrepreneurs also, which is really will be a lovely thing to witness. So even now there are so many participants here, so many faculties, professors. So the more research you do, one day you might be an entrepreneur also. You might be a millionaire enjoying the entrepreneurial mindset. So advance wishes to any such researcher who are there. So thanks a lot. I just end my session here. I hope I have just linked at least few points to the topic that was given to me. And at this juncture, I thank again to Mithilesh sir and Bhuvaneshwari ma'am who have really supported us and who are supporting our institution also. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. And I also thank the management of the college here for giving me a wonderful opportunity. Because this entrepreneurship is something that I really love from bottom of my heart. I love doing research in entrepreneurship with my students also, because you get to know more of new things that have been revolving. So it's very nice. And thank you to all the participants for your patient listening. So thank you all once again. Thank you. Over to the organizers.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a informative session. Uh, Participants, anybody has questions can post in comment box. Miss
Yes.
Ritu Mishra, do you have a question? You have joined the guest link. Sowmya, do you have a question?
Yes. Any questions or any interactions also? It'll be fine. Anything? Ritu ma'am, do you have anything to discuss with me?
Ma'am, there is a question. You were talking
Yes.
about one student who had taken the tailoring waste to
Yes.
start a
Yes.
venture. See,
Yes.
now these kind of ideas are very rare. Thinking and getting being successful is again a matter of luck. Sometimes the idea must appeal the audience as well. So
Exactly.
entrepreneurship is always, especially with our cultural mindset, not many of us would like to take up entrepreneurship. So what is your suggestion to youngsters?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you entrepreneurship, sometimes it's not that I want to become an entrepreneur. I do all the groundwork for that. It's not that. Anytime that will strike us, sometimes they may not know that they're going to become an entrepreneur one day.
How
So, as I said,
they
that particular student also, like, it was just a normal idea that she had, but we just forced her to present that idea to one of the investor in one competition that was happening nearby, and then she pitched it, and there she got the first prize. Okay, so then only she knew, okay, there's a value for the idea that I have. After that only she started her market research. Till then she thought, okay, what she was doing was just a crap work that she was doing. She was not serious about it. So for the students, what I say is, don't fix your career that you have to become an entrepreneur. No, you have to build your skills. Your skills will take you where you have to be. Now, if you have a good communication skill, yes, your career will be towards that. If you have a good designing skill, surely one day you will be designing a product. So don't fix your career. I should be in employment, I should become an entrepreneur. No. In your, when you are research scholars, utilize that research, your research experience, and build up. Mainly, you have to build up the critical skill that will crack the ideas, the innovative ideas, whatever solution you would like to give to the society based problems. So that will help you. You should have at least a percent of involvement in the societal problems that are happening near us. You should not be constrained to your own academic work. Finish your lessons, write your test, get your degree, or pass in your paper. No, that alone will not help you in any way. You should come out of it at least a percentage. You should get involved in the social happenings that has been running. So nowadays, youngsters, after COVID, the whole culture has changed. Everyone are busy giving TikToks. They are busy into their self. I mean. Getting into selfies and all that, so their mind has been diverted. So it is in the hands of us, all the academicians, all the professors, what we should do. Normally we will be working 100%, we should give another 120% more. At least we should take some effort to change that mindset of the students, and bring in some sort of importance in that particular age that they are in. So this is what I say. So don't fix up anything, but build up your skill. Your skill will automatically fix your career. That's what.
Thank you, ma'am. Well said. I think the social cause can be the driving factor behind for an
Exactly.
entrepreneur.
Yes.
Ma'am, this is Alamelu, professor,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Hi, ma'am.
I'm having one question.
Yes.
Really, even I am surprised to hear that the researchers can become entrepreneurs.
Exactly.
You tell me, no, how?
See, ma'am, I'll share my own experience. Now, I have a colleague of mine. She's in chemistry field. I am in commerce, right? So I am very interested. I'm a foodie. Okay, so I'm interested in bringing up, the junk flavors in millet recipes. So what I do is I try to coin my own recipes, give for the kids, and just know how they like it and what can be changed, and the nutritive values of it. All that will be checked by my colleague who's in a different domain. So what you should do is, don't think that you should earn something. You just try to build something, some skill based on your passion, because at the end your passion only will stand next to you. So whatever you do, if you're aligned with your passion, you're in the right way. So apart from academics, okay, now we are in this teaching field, some may be forced to become a lecturer and all that. That is apart from it. Apart from that, when you're doing a research itself, try to involve yourself with the correct team. They may be of different discipline also, but involve yourself in which you are really interested. That might take you in the entrepreneurship way, and always get adopted with the innovative practices. We should learn a lot actually. So that only helps us to to crack our ideas. You should get connected with a lot of mentors. Like, I am in commerce, I don't know anything about AI, I don't know anything about sensors, but I am working with my colleagues to bring up a machine. So I am really interested to know what are the circuits. I don't know ABCs of that, but I am learning. So with your own interest. So this is how we should become students also sometime. And we should love, actually we shouldn't always say, yo, this job is really very it's demotivating me, I'm getting tired. Now if we always think negatively, the purpose of our own profession, it will be a question mark. So we should actually love our profession. Through our profession we should try to do maximum that will help the society. Automatically you will be recognized by the society one day, and you may be an entrepreneur when you are retiring. So when you're retiring 58, after that you can become an entrepreneur. You can even mentor the students. So you will have your career will be diversified. You can become a mentor, you'll be an entrepreneur, you can even earn in different ways. Monetary wise also you will be safe. Learning wise also you will enjoy your your learning career. So this is how we should build our own interests. That's my opinion, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Well said. So, entrepreneurship is doable along with your main career. It can run on a parallel track. And Pradhan Mantri Modi too is promoting the millet
Yes, we should be,
grains.
yes, and we should be thankful to Modi ji, because he is the one, who's taken wonderful steps to increase the number of startups here. So that is really, the students are really liking to, study more when they are involved in this ideation and building up prototypes and all that.
Like
Yes.
Atmanirbhar, Make in India, the millet drive.
Yes, yes.
So many
Always we
drives
should
all.
get in touch with the gov.in app. So we will get updated with all that's happening in the government side also, so that we can have tie-ups with the government, which will help in funding us for whatever we do. If they find it's valuable, we'll get a lot of funds also from government side. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for taking the questions. We have come to the end of the session. We have Miss K. Alamelu, Coordinator Shift 2 and Assistant Professor, Shri Krishnaswamy College for Women, who will present the formal vote of thanks. Over to Alamelu, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, it's a wonderful session, ma'am. On behalf of the management, principal staffs, and participants, I would like to put forth my sincere oath of thanks for this session. Let me take the privilege to thank Ms. Sowmya for sharing and sharing of valuable information regarding the entrepreneurship and startups innovations. It's wonderful, ma'am. Nowadays everyone is looking for starting up new business. They want to establish themselves though they are working anywhere. even though they want to stand on their own leg. That is what I'm seeing. Even the youngsters, they want to do something new in the society. So I think this session will create more impact in the minds of the participants. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank Dr. Kirti ma'am and her team to take such a great initiative, arranging a very good FDP for the youngsters, the young minds, and also the working people, and also it paves the ways to excel more in business. I think this session will create so much of impacts in the minds of the participants. Thank you once again. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. So, all the best to all the participants. One day you will be a successful entrepreneur also. So, best of luck. Thank you. Thank you to the whole team. Thank you. Ma'am, can I come out of the session?
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay.
We are
Thank you.
also ending the broadcast. Thank you, ma'am.